Coward. You make me sick.
Leave me alone.
Hiding in the shadows. Hiding from who you truly are.
No. Well, now that I've been shamed by Stirland Mud for not using it for my terrain paste needs, let me show you how you can make nearly unlimited terrain paste for way less money. And I kid you not, you're only going to need 3 essential ingredients. This only took me 5 minutes to do, so keep watching to see how you can easily do this yourself for your next diorama. What's good, mini crafters? My name is Samuel, and today I'm going to be showing you how to make something that I use on nearly all of my bases and dioramas, and it's something that all hobbyists use. They need it, and honestly, they're paying too much money for it, and that's terrain paste. Now, there's tons of pre-made pastes that are out on the market. Most notably is AK Interactive, Citadel, Vallejo, and there's nothing wrong with using those. And I actually use them myself all the time, and they're great when you want that very specific effect, like the concrete that I'm using and creating here on this wall. But I wanted to make a video about how you can make your terrain paste for cheap, and it's only going to take 3 ingredients. And if you stick around till the end of the video, I'm going to throw in a couple of extra tips and tricks on things that you can do to make your terrain paste even more kick-ass. To start, here's what you're going to need. For the dry ingredients, you're going to want to use plaster and some sort of ballast or dirt or maybe a super fine rock mixture. And then for the wet ingredients, you're only going to need matte Mod Podge, any color craft paint that you can find, and maybe some water. Obviously, you're going to need something to mix your terrain paste up in. I just use a small flexible bowl, or you could use a plastic container like the one that I have here, or that you see people use for meal prep. To show you how this works and what it looks like when it's done, I have this little diorama of an alien creature kind of bursting out of the ground. And I have this 3D printed ground rubble explosion thing, but I need to make it look like it's part of the surrounding ground and blend that into the surrounding area. Cue needing terrain paste. To start, I'm taking my mixing bowl and I'm pouring in some of the medium-sized ballast that I have here. I'm then going to take my coarse ballast, which is a little bit bigger and a little more rough. I'm going to add some of that. And then lastly, I'm going to take a few spoonfuls of my plaster. I'm going to add that into the mix as well. Now, I don't really have exact ratios or measurements. Instead, I'm going to be eyeballing it and adjusting it as I go. We'll know if we're going to need more plaster or ballast after I add the wet ingredients, and I'll explain why in just a second. Speaking of the wet ingredients, first, I'm going to be opening up the matte Mod Podge. And after getting that open with no problem, I pour in a little bit. So I'm going to be squirting in a bit of my craft paint into the bowl. I'm using black. And if you're not painting your paste later on, pick a paint for the environment that you're going to be going for. Tan for desert, red for a Martian base, or maybe a brown for a dirt color. For the paint itself, I recommend using something cheap, like a craft paint that you can find at any local hobby store. I'm not really wanting to use my expensive mini paints, like these guys that you see all around on my desk, because 1, there is not a lot, and 2, they're way more expensive, and 3, this is cheaper. So let's save some dollars. Now you're just going to add some water and mix everything up. Now remember how I said I don't really have any measurements? That's true, but it's easier to know when to add more plaster based on the consistency of your mix. I'm really going for something that's thicker, yet still spreadable. And if it's too dry and clumpy, you may have to add some more water. I always start with a thicker mix, because you can always add more water to loosen things up. And if you add too much water off the bat, then you're stuck with a thinner mix, and you're forced to add more plaster to thicken things up, which then leaves you with extra paste left over. Now that we have our paste all mixed up and ready to go, I'm going to grab my diorama and spoon some of that paste onto the foam. I'm then using a gloved finger to spread it out across the foam, and I'm actually going to be leaving a thicker layer here for 2 reasons. 1, I'm going to be pressing this 3D printed ground explosion thing into the paste, and I want it to be settled into the paste and into the ground a little bit rather than looking like it's sitting on top of it. The second reason is I'm going to tie back to what I said earlier in the video about a couple of extra things that you can add to your terrain paste to level it up. Once I have my model in place, the 3D explosion pressed in, I can now come in with some fine ballast and sprinkle that over the top of the paste. It's going to give a little extra texture and detail, but what I really want to do to bring this together is add some little sticks and twigs that I can easily press into the paste that I left thicker to look like scale wood has been thrown around this explosion. I also have these little aquarium rocks that are different sizes and shapes, and because I left the paste a little thicker, I can kind of settle those into the paste so they also look like they're not just sitting on top of the ground, but they're more incorporated. Here's how it turned out. Everything's not primed yet, but the paste is already starting to hold everything together, make this look like realistic ground texture, and after I let the thing dry, I can prime it up and paint it up. For dry times, I'd recommend leaving it overnight just because I left it a little bit thicker, but your mileage may vary. Before I paint it up, you can see it primed here, and look how cohesive and all together it looks. Like it all melds together into one little landscape. Now, obviously this is just primer, let's paint it up. As I paint this up, I actually have a couple of extra tips and tricks and things that you can do to make this process even easier. Future you is going to appreciate it, so keep watching. I know with all these ingredients out right now, it's easy to mix and do what I need and pour a little and add water, whatever. But sometimes when I'm working on a project, I don't want to have to go and pull out my plaster, go find the ballast, grab the paint and the Mod Podge. Sometimes I just want to have all of what I need right on hand. So when I'm mixing up a paste, I'll often grab an empty container and I'm going to add all of my dry ingredients to that while I have them out on my desk. Now, I don't add the Mod Podge or the paint or any water because otherwise the paste is going to start to set up and I don't want that. But now this way I can just grab my dry mix container, add the paint and Mod Podge, and go. The paste that I make and use is really easy to do, but it's kind of a one and done thing. I make what I need for the current project, and any leftovers kind of set up and become unusable. And don't get me wrong, I can make the exact amount that I need, and I'm in control of how much I add, so I don't often have leftover waste. But if I can get it to stabilize, I can just whip up a tub and then pull it out and use it when I want. Please leave a comment below if you have a terrain paste recipe that you live by, or have any thoughts on what I could change or add to mine to make it better. I would love to hear your thoughts. I do really read through every comment that comes in, and if you want to support the channel, please share this video with a hobby friend who is spending way too much money and too much time on terrain pastes and could use this tutorial. If you like what you saw and you're looking to make your own terrain paste, I have all the ingredients that I used in this video linked in the description below. Those are Amazon affiliate links, so they're going to give a little extra kickback to the channel, but they're not going to cost you anything extra. Also, if you noticed, I used some makeup sponges when painting up this mini diorama. I actually have a full video about how to use sponges when you're painting up any terrain, and it's super quick. I'm going to have that link down below as well. Until next time, keep on crafting.